First, more on the Pew poll and the president's religious affiliation. Joining us now is Professor Akbar Ahmed. He is the chair of Islamic Studies at American University. And Joel Hunter, the senior pastor of Northland Church. He is a spiritual advisor to President Obama. Pastor Hunter, start us out here. How did it ever get to this point?
Well, the president's decision to keep his faith more private and more personal also has a downside. While he's very active with several of us, the fact that he is not going very public in a visible way and therefore not defining his spiritual life per se allows others to step into that vacuum and define it for him. And there are many gullible and many maliciously gullible people around.
Ambassador Ahmed, the White House has been dealing with this rumor for years now, but even so, when this poll came out, White House spokespeople felt they need to come out and twice during the day knock it back. Why does the White House need to even spend 1 second on this? What's driving it? What's really behind this?
I think they're being too defensive, John, because it is the environment, the social environment in which we are living. To suggest that President Obama is a Muslim, which he is not, he's a Christian, he said that again and again, is really to associate him with Islam. And Islam today has an atmosphere around it of distrust, of hatred, of paranoia. And the tragedy is that that is the real target, the bigger target, because that is what we are seeing on the global stage. And we are hearing Islam is evil, it's equated to Nazism and so on. And the tragedy is that we are not learning from our own founding fathers. President Obama referred to Jefferson at the White House iftar dinner the other night last week. Jefferson, John Adams, Franklin, again and again expressed the highest respect for Islam itself, the Prophet and the Quran. I think these Americans who are being so critical of Islam and dismissing it really need to read up on their own founding fathers.
Ambassador Ahmed, in terms of the suspicion and mistrust of Islam generally across America, that's where we want to bring in this Time magazine poll. First of all, one of the findings in the Time magazine poll, almost 1 in 4 people believe that President Obama is a Muslim. There it is, 24%. But here's some of the other findings. 28% of people asked do not think that a Muslim should be allowed to sit on the Supreme Court. 32% do not think a Muslim should be allowed to run for president. And 25% don't think that Muslims are patriotic Americans. Pastor Hunter, what do these poll numbers tell us about how America in general perceives the Islamic faith?
Well, Americans in general are ignorant of the Islamic faith, and ignorance belies itself to fear. There are a lot of people, I get emails every week of Christians that are fearful of Muslims and the Islamic faith, and they have a total misunderstanding. And because of that, again, because it's not well defined in their mind, they fill in the blanks, or even worse, allow those who are hostile to differences to fill in the blanks for them.
Ambassador Ahmed, you and I talked via email on this a couple of nights ago after we had Pam Geller in here, who swears up and down that the 9/11 hijackers were practicing a, quote, true form of Islam, when other people, including White House spokesman Ari Fleischer after the 9/11 attack, said it was a perversion of Islam. The type of Islam that the 9/11 hijackers were practicing, how would you characterize it?
John, by simply answering that my parents, my mother is of descent of aristocracy and nobility. My father's descended from sages and Sufi saints of Islam, and they have 1,000 years background of Islam. For them, Islam means the Quran, which defines God as Rahman and Rahim, that's compassionate and merciful. The Prophet is defined as a mercy unto mankind. My father believed in this and practiced it. My grandfather did this, and so do I. For me, this notion of Islam being evil and hurtful and vicious and violent is rejected. Whether Muslims are doing this or whether other people are interpreting Islam in this manner. I really think other people who are defining Islam need to sit back and let Muslims define themselves. Whether they agree with this violence or not, that is the debate. I, for one, would totally reject it.
And Pastor Hunter, finishes off here, if you would. Of course, all of this has risen to the surface again because of tensions over the proposed mosque at Ground Zero. It's not the only one, though, that's facing opposition. There's a mosque in Nashville, Tennessee that's been protested, one in Temecula, California. You know, the administration, the Bush administration, and we know that you were a spiritual counselor to President Bush as well, said again and again and again, this is not a war against Islam, it's a war against terrorists. Is that message not getting through?
No, it's not. As a matter of fact, it's a war against our own founding principles when we discriminate in the free expression of a religion. And so we've got to guard our Constitution. We've got to guard who we are as a people. And that's the real focus here. Today it's Islam. Tomorrow it may be Buddhism. The next day it may be Christianity. And so we have to be very, very careful about how we handle our fears and how we address differences.
Terrific discussion tonight, gentlemen. Thanks so much for being with us. We really appreciate it.